Everyone, welcome back again. So as you saw in my last video, I went ahead and removed all his fabric from the foam base here, and so now what I did was I basically removed those eyes that were stitched on top of his on top of the fabric of the skin area. You can see a little bit of the markings right there, but we're not going to worry about that right now because we're about to do in the next portion of this, which is seeing if we can fix these eyes here. And as you saw in the last couple of videos, they were pretty wide apart and they look like huge saucers. They weren't appealing at all, and they didn't give you that kind of that innocent, playful eyes that you kind of want to have in your characters here. So what we're going to do is we're going to first take a pattern of this whole guy so that we can see how much space we are dealing with, and then we can plot out the areas that that we know are existing, like this whole area right here, and the eyebrows themselves. Now technically we can peel them off and there might be residue underneath, but I'm going to leave as is for now and just kind of trace out the image. So what I have here is just regular cling wrap that you can get at the grocery store, and I'm going to use these pins to kind of put them in place. You can use tape if you want to tape it to the fabric, or you can use, there's another type of static cling that has a little bit of a sticky residue on the back, and they promote like you can seal an edge of a bowl with it. Those are perfect. They're a little more expensive, but I mean it's all about convenience, right? So I'm just going to put these down at the corners here, one at the top, one at the bottom, and I'm going to do it on the other side as well. So if you don't have push pins, you can always use tape. I'm just trying to use what I have here, and we're just trying to make this as smooth as possible. So I might have to do some adjustments with these here. See, I want to get this as tight as possible. I mean, and the idea of this is so that I can get a pattern. I'm not trying to get it completely set. I just want to be able to make a marking here. So after that, I am using 2 Sharpies. If you don't have 2 Sharpies, don't worry about it. Use 1 Sharpie. But you want to be able to make a mark on this plastic cling here so that so you can identify your pattern. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my green one. You can still use your black one if you want, but I'm going to mark out the eyes. So here I have one spot for the eye that I know that is open. I'm going to put an X in it because I know that's cut open. Same thing here. I'm going to put a circle. I'm not trying to push through. I'm just trying to mark it. So it leaves it on the plastic cling. Next portion, yeah, I forgot already, is this up here, his eyebrows. So his eyebrows I'm just tracing so I understand where it's located. Go to the other side and do the same thing. And that's it. So that's one part. Next part here. So I'm going to get my black Sharpie here, and I'm going to trace the outline of the skin here. So it's just right on top. I'm going to follow it across. And I know it's a little wrinkled in this side, but it's not to worry because right now we're not worrying about how perfect it is. We're just trying to get the generic shape. And I'm just going to follow the crease here until I get down here, and I'm going to follow it back up. And we got it. So next step now that we have that down is we're going to use tape. Now I prefer using duct tape, but since I don't have any of that now, I'm going to use painter's tape. You can always use that tan tape. I forget what the name of that's called. Definitely not Scotch tape. You want something with a little bit of flexibility, and the wider the better because you're going to be covering up a lot of space here. So after we did our little drawing here on top of this face, we're basically just trying to capture the shape of it by using the tape, and we're going to give it some stability because if I just pull this off right now, it's going to be really flimsy. I want to transfer that onto a piece of paper. I won't be able to because it's going to be flopping around everywhere. But if I use duct tape or this type of tape, I can just go ahead and just place on it just like that, and just keep putting strips down until I cover all the pieces that I drew in here. That, and then I'm not having to worry about anything outside of it. All I really want is everything inside. So see where that pin's at the very top right, this green one right here? It'll eventually get covered, but right now I'm going to go ahead and just go and do these bottom sections. Because after this, if I peel it away, you'll see that at the very bottom, or on the other side of this, the drawing's still there, right? Because I still have the markings on the other side, which means I can cut it around that area. So there's a lot of reasons of doing this. If I mess up, if I decide that maybe the eyes holes are a little too far and I can't really do my design with that, then I can go ahead and use this pattern, find some fabric, and then redo the whole front with brand new fabric. All I have to do is match it up, and then I can cut out that piece on this fabric and sew on a brand new piece, or hot glue the brand new piece on. Or if I just want to keep it this way, then I at least have a pattern for next time. I don't have to redo this work every single time. So I'm almost done here. I just got to do a couple more pieces. There we go. You know what? That bottom piece is pretty small down there. Let me see if I can get it covered. There we go. So one more piece up here, just so that I make sure I cover everything that I need to cut out. There it is. And now I can peel it away. So there's that one pin we just talked about. I'm just going to peel it right off. Because right now this plastic thing, I don't have to worry about, because look, right on the other side, I have my pattern, just like that. Now all I have to do is cut my pattern out, and I'll have a perfect replica of what I just did right here. If I pointed at the thing, it would help more, right? So there it is. As you can see, the shape of the mark that I did is right there. It goes down to here. It's a little messed up down here, but I know that the shape is going to be smooth across, so I can pretty much just kind of cut my way through there. I got my holes right here of where my eye holes are at, and of course where my eyebrows are at. So now if I transfer this on paper, I can use another piece of paper to kind of start making my shapes for the eyes and make them big, and then kind of see how they place, and then I can put them right back up in here. And if these eye holes are too far away, then I can just keep this pattern here, move the eyes closer to something that will work, and then rebuild everything. Rebuild the eyes, redo the eyebrows, and then I would just come back up in here. I'd have to remove just 1/4 of an inch from all of this right here. And since this comes off, I can just sew on a brand new piece right above it. And I'll be able to keep my pattern here. So until the next video I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and make some eyes.